So my name's Rajeev and I'm one of the founders of Fixflo. My background is that I was a property lawyer for about 6 years working in London and New Zealand, and a huge number of the disputes I saw related to two things. First of all, miscommunication. So one person saying something and the other person misunderstanding what they said. The second came from a lack of records. So one person saying something and the other person not writing it down. Today, I'm going to carry on with the theme of communications and talk about how you can get smart with your communications. I'm going to look at three key things. The first is the changing context that you're operating in. So consumer expectations shaping the future of your business. The second is looking specifically at repairs and property management. We did a survey of 700 property managers across the UK, and some of the results were shocking. And finally, I'm going to talk briefly about what we do. So just to set the background, if you do lettings, you should well know this. About a week ago, you were required to be a member and register to one of the redress schemes. The idea is consumers will have a forum to voice concerns and complaints. And although not a regulatory body, the redress schemes have the power to fine you, to censure you, and now with a tie-up between the different redress schemes, if you're sent out of one, the others will not accept you, meaning that your lettings business will fall away. Looking specifically at the types of issues that are complained about. So 8% relate to repairs, a real bugbear of tenants. The second is about communications. So 13% of issues reported to the Property Ombudsman Service, the largest service, related to communications. Now what that tells me is you may be doing everything right, but you may not be communicating properly with your customers, the landlords, and with tenants. And finally, we've seen a marked uptake in the number of complaints being made, almost a quarter year on year. Obviously, in part, that's due to higher membership of redress schemes, but overall, I think it taps into a trend that if somebody's upset with your service, they're likely to voice that concern. So, what are we saying about consumers? First of all, they're more likely to complain than they have been in the past. Secondly, they're more likely to tell other people about complaints. So you can see it's over a 50% increase over the past 5 years, but crucially, with the access to social media, it's not a one-to-one communication. That means if a tenant or a landlord has poor service, or even more dangerously, perceives to have had poor service, they're able to tell the world about it, and through that, your brand is damaged. And looking specifically at your brand, as soon as your brand is damaged, a consumer will avoid dealing with you. So in the lettings context, they may be your tenants today, but they'll be your landlords tomorrow, and your vendors and purchasers in the future. So how you treat your tenants can positively or negatively impact your brand going forward. Moving specifically onto repairs. So we interviewed and surveyed over 700 property managers all across the UK, and we weren't expecting these results. The first is repairs are a huge drain on resource. On average, each property has 2.8 repairs per year, and each repair takes 90 minutes of man time to manage from start to end. So even at the minimum wage, and we recognise a lot of you will be paying more than that because it's hard to get good property managers, for 150 managed properties, you're looking at £3,000 a year, excluding NI, holiday pay, sickness pay, pensions, on staff costs just to manage repairs. And that's if you're doing it properly. Also, there's an increasingly diverse tenant base, and I'm going to take a real risk here and ask you, just a show of hands, can you put your hand up if you've got one or more tenants who speak a language other than English? Perfect. And I'm presuming you don't have a member of staff who can deal with each tenant in their own language. That causes problems, and in our experience, it leads to a huge amount of friction with children being pulled out of school to communicate between parent, tenant, and letting agents. So that's the cost. There's an additional cost. Of the property managers we surveyed, 56% knew a landlord who'd switched letting agent because of a repair-related issue. So you've got a drain on resources, and you've got reduced revenue from repairs. Looking at what we do is fundamentally simple. Fixflo is an online repair reporting system that does three things. The first is it's available to tenants in over 40 languages. We were required to add Welsh as our 41st language, and we're still waiting for our first tenant to report a repair in Welsh. Secondly, repairs can be delivered more quickly. By getting the right information from tenants, your staff are equipped, they're given the tools to deal with repairs. And thirdly, fewer issues are reported. On average, you'll see a 16% reduction. And I'm going to show you a video of how the system works. The idea is the system improves your service level, it reduces the demand on your staff, and it helps to educate your tenant base. So instead of assuming that everything is your responsibility, they're told what they're responsible for, how they can fix simple things themselves, and from a marketing perspective, your clients know that around the clock, your tenants are told what to do to protect themselves and to protect the property. So, the key stats now, group of businessmen and women in the room. On average, you're looking at a 1/3 saving in the amount of time it takes to deal with a repair. That means if you've got 3 property managers, one of them can be allocated to driving more revenue for your business. Secondly, the TPO Code of Practice requires all communications with tenants to be kept for 6 years. If a tenant is reporting a repair by telephone, you're unlikely to keep those notes of telephone calls for 6 years. And finally, by being available in over 40 languages, you can boost your available tenant base, and you can compete more effectively with a USP for your brand. I'm going to show you a quick video of how the system works.
Welcome to the award-winning Fixflo platform, a simple solution to help streamline your repairs process. With inbuilt advice, tenants' problems can be resolved without having to come to you. If tenants need further assistance, they're guided to give you the precise information you need to deal with the problem quickly and efficiently, and can even easily add photos to help you understand the problem without having to inspect the property. You'll be given their full address and current contact details, other useful information, and a fully customizable message reminds them about call-out charges before they submit. You'll then receive a clear and concise report in English directly to your inbox, so you can work out a repair strategy without any chasing calls or emails for details when your tenants are at work. The platform is available in more than 40 different languages. It can be customized to match your brand, and tenants can access it straight from your website using any device. Fixflo really does save you time, improve productivity, and build better relationships with your tenants. Don't wait, start your free trial now at www.fixflo.com.
So a little bit of further information about us. We launched in May 2013. We're being used by now over 650 letting agency offices across the UK, plus some in South Africa, Ireland, and soon to be one in the Cayman Islands. I'm putting my hand up for that trip. We won the Sunday Times Award for Best Supplier to the Lettings Industry, and we're upstairs. My next slide is a map showing some of our customers, but first of all, if there are any questions, shout them out. Otherwise, we're upstairs through all the breaks for anything you might want to know. Any questions? No. Okay, thank you very much for your time.